Hi guys, this is Yasir Saeed. I'm gonna draw a sketch. Um, so I'm going to use a square canvas. I'm gonna set this painting up. This picture. I'm gonna decrease the opacity so that I can get an idea of the tone variation and get an outline. So I'll start with a new layer, and on this layer I will start with my inking brush and I will go with the studio pen. So I'll set up the width, and as usual I'll start with the nose. So the base, the inking part is done. The exciting part of um, doing these drawings is that every drawing is a new challenge. And from my earlier videos, I don't know if you followed it or not, but from my earlier videos, I always struggle with stubble, and in this case, we we have a stubble to deal with, and that is something that I have to figure out. So I think what I'll do is I'll I'll make a selection, and then I will try and work with that. So I have the lower part. So I'll start with touch-ups. I'll take the stubble brush, I'll increase the size, and then I will start painting. But then I have to do this on a separate layer because then I need to remove it from. So we've got a basic idea of the stubble, and keeping in mind that we haven't done the base color yet. So once we add the base color, this actually will look much better. And then obviously I need to trim the edges because right now they're too patchy. So I will use the inking pen or maybe the marker, and I will try and ease out the the edges. So now as because the basic inking's done, I'm gonna go into a new layer, and I am going to select a skin tone, and probably this is the skin tone that I selected earlier. Oops. So I select this main inking layer and I make this into a reference, and then my sketch is bleeding from somewhere. So I fixed the bleed. It should stay inside. It is. So let's clear this and let's fill. So let's remove this to get an idea of where we are with the inking, and I'm just gonna paint all the areas which were left. So I'm gonna select a first. I will select a layer, and then go with a dark lip color. It has to go under the inking layer, and then select a lighter pinkish tone for the lower lip because it's getting most of the light. I also need to fix the base layer and these areas that are left along the eyelashes, eyebrows. So this at the moment it looks pretty okay. So now we go with our layer for the shadows. So now I will try and go with something slightly orangey and get a ballpark figure of an idea of where the shadows are. So if I look at the picture, the shadows, they have a certain shape that goes So the fun part with all of this is that I mean I've done a different paint just to get the highlights, but now I'm going to merge this color with the actual skin tone, which is the fun part. Just very subtle way of blending the skin tones. So this gave me a very faint idea of, and again, artistically, I can convert this into any color, but I will keep it normal for right now, and then I will um, see if I want to take some artistic liberty. And now I'll go with a darker tone of this color, probably what I already have in the palette. So now I will see where the shadows are. So um, I know clearly there are shadows, and I think I better um, reduce the opacity. So you also see I have um, shadows at the edge. So I always use a new layer for shading the eyes. So that's exactly what I'm going to do now. So the eyes, they always have these shaded because of the upper eyelid. There's always shades in the eye. It's never clear. But what I can do is either I can change yeah, so this is better. So now I'm gonna work on the iris itself. It's gonna be dark brown, and so the best part about the eyes is the actual shading, and I like shading. So everything is done. I'm just going to try one last thing, which might work, which might not work. So this is going to be the final highlight on the face, which will be done on a separate uh, background. So I'm gonna try and add highlights to all the places where I feel there is um, there can be highlights. So, and obviously I can change the color later. So let's see how that can turn out. As I said, this might work, this might not work, but there's no harm trying to see how it looks. And obviously, once I start changing the colors, it will actually look better. So I think this looks great. I'm just going to slightly alter the colors so that it matches more with so this looks more subtle. I mean, I don't see a lot of there aren't any a lot of jumps. So this looks pretty subtle. So now I just need to add um, shadows on the neck, and after that we're pretty much done. So there are a lot of very dark shadows on the neck. So so yeah, I am pretty happy with how this came around and how the whole thing come about. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna rush, because I usually rush when I'm at the end of the sketches, but this time I'm gonna take my time. Okay. So I'm going to add another layer and use some kind of a brownish jersey, and again I need texture. So I don't know if this has fabric texture, which I don't think it has. So let's try this, and let's try some texture inside the so this looks pretty good. Very nice. Very nice. I like it. So this looks good. And just to add another layer of shading, I'm just going to multiply this layer and use a darker color. And use the inking brush that I already have. Bring down the opacity and start shading. Nope, not good. So maybe I can use something else. It doesn't have touch or but then again I can use airbrushing to simulate a darker tone. But again, I think this does not go with the kind of style that we have, which is very very line art. It's very much like vector art. So I don't think the whole look of shading will work. I just need to soften the edges. Yeah, so this is okay. So now everything is done. I will group all these layers and read this, and I'll group. We'll close down the group. I will move this here, and now the favorite part, one of the favorite parts, I will add the background. So this time let's go with something purple. Yeah. And then now I want to add this grunge effect that I've lately been very interested in. I don't know. I think I can make this into my personal style. So we bring up the brush, make it bigger, and then so I'm gonna give it a few tries. So I like it. So maybe I use the same texture brush to remove the grunge rather than and then I go into my inking brush and then take away all the excess So there you go, guys. I think this is one of my favorites. I really enjoyed doing this this speed drawing. It was fun. It was great. I hope you enjoyed it. So I will see you tomorrow with the next painting. So see ya.